In the box, you will receive 72 land tiles, and each tile has either a road, a city, or a cloister, or a combination of the three, and are surrounded by a field. Now this is the back of the regular tiles, and as you can see here, this one with the light gray sea surrounded by the darker artwork is the starting tile. Okay, you also receive 40 meeples in 5 different colors with 8 followers per color. You get a scoreboard and an instruction manual. Now my edition is the 10th anniversary edition, and it has 10 of these tiles with little 10 and like fireworks on it. It's a mini expansion called the Festival, I believe. And my meeples are also different than the original game, as well as the scoreboard. My scoreboard is shaped like a meeple. The regular base game is just a rectangle, and the regular meeples in the regular base game are wooden meeples painted the different colors instead of these clear, translucent meeples, plastic meeples. But it's still compatible with all the expansions if you get it. It's your call on that. Okay, setup for Carcassaconne is easy. 4 simple steps. First, place the scoreboard out. Second, you place 1 meeple of each player's color on 0. Okay. Next, you place the starting tile out, face up any way you want. And the final step is you place the remaining tiles face down in piles within easy reach of everybody. And that's it. Okay, the object of Carcassaconne is to score as many points as you can. And this is done by laying tiles and then claiming a component with your meeple. In this case, I laid a city tile down. The meeple claiming it would be a knight. Now, there are some rules to laying tiles. You have to match the edges, so you could not place it like this, or like this. But you can place this tile here. You can place a field abut it to another field. Okay, so I claim the city section here with my knight. Jen draws, and she grabs this cloister here. She's going to play it right here, and she will claim the cloister with her monk. Comes back to me. I draw another city section here, and then I will claim the field here with the farmer, and normally they're laid down to differentiate them from thieves or monks or knights. So it goes back to Jen. She's going to place this tile here, and then she's going to claim the road here with a thief. And again, you must claim the tile you laid. So she now completed this road. She would remove her meeple, put it back in her stockpile, and she would score points. And we'll get to how points work a little later on. So this would go back and forth. Say I drew this one, I get points. Okay, and then it'll go back to Jen. And she goes like here, here. You get the idea. And that would go until the last tile is drawn and placed. Whoever has the most points wins. Whoever has the second most points loses. Okay, folks, let's talk briefly about this 10th anniversary edition expansion, the festival. Okay, the 10 tiles have this 10, like the fireworks on it. And basically, they're played just like normal tiles. You draw it, and then you place it. Now, here is where it gets a little different. You can just play a follower like normal, or you can choose not to and take a meeple from anywhere else on the board and put it back into your stock, or you could choose to do neither. Scoring in Carcassaconne is fairly easy. Right now we're going to talk about the in-game pointing system, meaning points you gain while you're playing. You're laying tiles down during the gameplay. There's another phase of scoring at the end of the game, and we'll get into that in a few minutes. But say I just laid this tile here. Okay, I just laid this tile right here and finished off this road. This thief would get 1 point for each section of the road that is completed. So he would get 1, 2, 3 points for that road. Okay, now cities up here, Jen finished a city. You get 2 points for every section of the city, and then 2 points for these little pennants, these blue and white shields. Okay, so Jen would get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 points for this city. Now the cloisters, as soon as they are surrounded on all sides, you get 9 points for them. Alright. Now, what I should have mentioned in the gameplay is, say, Jen claimed this city here with the knight. Now I draw this tile, and I'm going to place it here. It is illegal for me to claim a section of a component that another person has already claimed. But there are ways to get around that. And in Carcassaconne, there is what is known as the majority rule. Okay, so over here you see I started a section of city here, and Jen started a section of city here. So it's Jen's turn. She draws this tile here, and she places it right here. Okay, so what happens is that city is now completed, but we both claimed a section of it. What happens there is we both get the points equally. So for this one, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 for the pennant, 16 points. We both get 16 points. Okay. But say I started this section right here, and then I decide, I draw this tile again, and I decide to put it here. Now what happens is, it's 2 to 1. I have the majority of this city. So Jen is eliminated from collecting points there, and I would get the 16 solely to myself. The farmers are placed in the fields. Like I said before, they're usually laid down to differentiate each other from, the monks and the knights and the thieves. But they are not scored till the end of the game. So I think in the next section, the end game points, we'll get into the farmers a little bit more. Okay, we're back to our section of Carcassaconne here. Now, like I said, the rules, the point system at the end of the game is a little different. You still get points for anything that you do not finish at the end of the game, but it's not as much in most cases. Okay, so Jen's here, and she has this road here, but she did not finish it. She's missing the end piece of the road right here. She would still only get 1 point for each section, so that's no change. 1, 2. Okay. Now, over here, I started a city. So, what would happen is, at the end of the game, I would only get 1 point for each section and 1 point for each pennant. So, in here, I would only get 3 points. 1 for this section, 1 for this section, 1 for this pennant. Okay, now with the cloisters. Jen tried to finish this cloister here. She couldn't do it. So, now what happens is she gets 1 point for every tile surrounding the cloister and 1 point for the tile that she's actually claimed the cloister on. So she get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points for this unfinished cloister here. Alright, now let's talk about the farmers. I'm going to pull all these meeples off so you can get a real clear view of everything and not get confused by other meeples. Okay? Now, the farmers have the same rule. You cannot claim a field that another farmer's in. So say Jen put this tile down. She could not claim this field. I'm already on it. And again, there are ways to get around that. Like over here. If I lay this tile down here, I am now part of this field here. And what is a field? A field is separated by roads that surround it. Okay, so for instance, this field here is totally different from this field over here because this road cuts right through the middle of the two. It is also defined by when two cities butt up against each other at the corners like this and the field cannot pass through, it is considered a border of the field. Okay, so now I told you how to define a field. What's the benefit of it? For every completed city that a field can supply goods to, it's worth 3 points at the end of the game. So, like I said, this guy here has 1 completed city in his field. He gets 3 points. Now, there is still a majority. Say this tile here wasn't there. I claimed a field up here and it linked up to Jen's field here. Okay, so it comes all the way down, wraps around, then squeezes right through here by the city and comes into Jen's field here. So, if that's the case, we would both get 3, 6, 9 points. There are 3 completed cities there. Now let's put this guy back up. Now this field that I claimed earlier now connects up to my other meeple here, around the cloister and in the Jen's field here. So I won the majority. Jen gets no points, and I would get, I would get the 9 points. Hopefully that made it clear for you guys. I think that's just about the best way I could describe it. Like I said, it's a little confusing for the beginner, but once you see it in action, it comes pretty easy. Now for the gameplay, I will be drawing the tiles off camera, and I will also be scoring off camera. Okay, it's just, this game will grow in every direction. and I will not be able to keep it all in a frame, most likely. So that's just so I could get a little bit of extra room in view, so you guys can see what's going on. I may have to shift the camera back and forth a little bit. We'll see how it goes.